Welcome y'all to another one of Guided Tour. We're going to puzzle 427. That 7x7 release this very evening. Let's load her up and get started. After a brief intro though, I don't post first runs to this channel. I don't see a point in teaching you the mistakes I've made. Instead, I pull those out, I shuffle the solve into the best order possible, and then I post back these revised paths to you a couple different ways. One is a speed run. So I call it a mad dash. Today's is about 28 seconds. And then there's this one here, the guided tour, where I talk a bit about how to solve one-up puzzles. Usually that amounts to looking at topography and segmentation as opposed to trying to solve digit by digit. And we'll get started with that now. It's a more or less unsegmented puzzle. I mean, there's 4 unsegmented lines and 3 segmented lines in each direction. A handful of givens, no real staggering, so no real look at a baseline to start with unless it happenstance is in, but I do try and find the biggest blocks of givens I can, and that's going to be C5 and C6 because all of them resolve at start. They're all given. We'll do that now. The 2 looks over, so we get that, and now we get this 3 and this 1 and this 2. On the downside, the 1 and 2 make this a 3, and that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 3, and that's a 2, and that's a 4, and that's a 1, and that's a 4, and that's all those columns, like I said. And there's a 1 and a 2. This 4 looks down, this 4 looks down, forces a 4 there. These 4s force a 4 there, and there's 1 4 left in the whole board. We know this is a 1 and a 2. That's easy. We know this is a 1 and a 5. We can do that. That's a 6 and a 5. Coming back over here, lots of different ways to do this. I like to do it this way though. This is a 1 and 3, this is a 1 and 3, which forces 5 and 7 to the outside. So that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 3, that's a 5. We know 6 and 7 now, and then of course we know 3 and 6 and 3 and 1 and 3, 1. That's a 3, that's a 2, that's a 2, that's a 7. And that's one way to solve 1-up 427. It's a pretty standard, not heavily segmented puzzle. In this case, we're given these nice big blocks in C5 and C6 we could use, which made the whole thing fall apart fast. If you were stuck, I really hope this video helped. If you still have questions, leave a comment here. I'll try and help. Like if you like, share, subscribe, spread the word. I do appreciate your time watching these, and I hope to see you another evening. Thanks. Bye.